Hi, Urmi, are you on the call? Mm. Hi, Urmi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi, very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon.
Okay, so I think before we start, I'll just start off with a short introductory video and then we can get going on.
दोस्तों वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए, यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining on a Sunday afternoon. My name is Rohan, one of the co-founders of QFS, which is a mentorship platform. QFS has been supporting Apna for the requirement of mentors. And at Apna, we have been doing this for a while now, termed as Apna Exclusives, and it happens on weekdays. The sessions happen on weekdays 7 p.m. and weekends 3 p.m. The main idea is to help people ideate and advance in their careers. We are covering a wide range of topics in this Apna Exclusives. Mainly, it can be as simple as spoken English or a little technical like a product development or career support or even financial functional skills as well. And today we have a professor with us, Ms. Urmi Chakravarti, who's going to take us through campus to corporate navigating our early career. So without much overdue, I'll hand it over to you, Professor Urmi. So basically, we'll try to have it a little interactive. Maybe you can take us through a couple of slides, and then maybe after 10 minutes, we can open it out for questions. And anyone who has questions, you can either put it on the chat box. We're going to be available, or unmute yourself and feel free to ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rohan. I hope everybody is doing great and in good health. Thank you for the introduction. I'll just quickly share my screen so it becomes easy for all of you. Just give me a thumbs up if the screen is visible to you guys. 1 second.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you. You're on mute.
Urmi, you're on mute. Sorry.
Yeah. So very good afternoon. Once again, my name is Professor Urmi. Thank you, Rohan, for the introduction. And I hope you guys are doing great and glad to see you all joining on a Sunday. Please make sure that you have any questions, you can keep popping on the chat window, and I will take the session as an interactive class. So when I ask questions, you guys can unmute and answer. You guys can also put it across on the chat window, and let's make it a class, a very interactive one. So I am going to take you through transitioning basically from campus to corporate. So now most of you guys might have heard that campus to corporate is a very important topic where, you know, usually people from different tier cities, they try to invest in themselves in terms of learning how to prepare for an interview, or probably learn what is, what we call as soft skills. Okay, I personally feel soft skill won't be a correct or an apt thing to explain what it is, because it's more over your behavioral skills. Those are all, human skills which are required for you to survive when you join any kind of organization. So now when we basically think about these kind of things where it's important for us to learn, okay, uh, adapt, understand, and what exactly that we see. So, basics are, when we speak about preparing for something, okay, we usually fail to understand that what we need to learn. Okay, we always feel that, okay, when we are starting to prepare, we know that we need to have a good body language. We know, we are aware that we need to have the right skills. We know that we need to, survive in terms of having good technical skills, etc. What we fail to realize is, what are those specific areas where we need to prepare ourselves for the interview. Now, anyone who can give me an answer here, that what is the first thing that you would like to do when you're preparing for an interview, from whichever place you belong to, from whichever field you come from? What do you think is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about preparing for an interview? Anybody, you can give an answer. Anyone? You can use the chat window as well. Come on. I want you guys to answer. You can use the chat window. You can unmute yourself and answer. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you're preparing for it? Anyone who would like to answer? If I'm not being able to convince you with the question, I'll repeat it for you. What is that first thing that comes to your mind when you're preparing for any interview, from whichever domain or whichever background you come from? Rohan, just help me if the chat window is working and if everyone can.
The chat window is open. The
Okay,
first
all right.
answer is communication skills.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I just got to see that. Pandeji. Okay, all right. Communication skills, great. Anybody else? Come on, that's great. First start is good. Anybody else who can give the answer? Communication skill is one. Appropriate CV. Okay, brilliant, great, Paritosh. Others, come on. Whatever comes to your mind when you are preparing for an interview, what is that first thing that you want to be absolutely sure of? Anybody with confidence? Anybody with a good approach? Dressing sense, brilliant, very good. Personality, how you conduct yourself, what basically skills do you have, and how appropriately you try to, keep it with the people. Self-confidence, brilliant, lovely. See, not that tough. Now, all these things, when we are trying to probably, gather in order to learn how to crack an interview or see the transitioning, how it is coming, when we are just preparing and when we're trying to eye contact and confidence. Okay. So all these things are appropriate. But the first thing is, when we start knowing what we are good at. Now, if I don't know what I'm good at, I probably will not be able to convince Rohan that, he should hire me for something, unless I know that, okay, these are my strengths and these are certain things which will make me, employable. All right, please, you can mute yourself, guys. That will be great. At the end, I'll give you guys time to ask all your questions, okay? All right. So when we speak about the concept, okay, that why it is important for us to know who we are, Okay, what skills do we have? What kind of strengths do we have in ourselves? Okay, are we good in communicating? Are we good in terms of our confidence level? That okay, I'm able to deal. I'm able to deal with whatever happens confidently. Or I know what kind of skills I have. It can be anything. It can be a soft skill. It can be a technical skill. It can be also called as hard skill. All these things are extremely important for us to know that what we are good at. All right, when it is important and when we know that okay, this is the area that I'm going to really give my best shot with. Okay, then we need to know how to create a pitch. I know I'm confident. I know that I'll be able to convince someone, be able to network in the right manner, but also meanwhile
हेलो मैम।
I will know that I can
हेलो मैम, क्या
convince myself.
हेलो
Sorry,
मैम, क्या हो रही हो?
शिवम, या शिवम आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है? ओके, शिवम इज आस्किंग क्या है ये, क्या ही पढ़ा हो रहा है. ओके शिवम, आई विल टेक दैट क्वेश्चन ऑफ योर्स. ये हम कैंपस टू कॉर्पोरेट पढ़ रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से हमें अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा एक इंटरव्यू रेडी होने के लिए या एक एम्प्लॉय बनने के लिए. क्या चीजें होगी जिसके वजह से हमें रिक्रूट करा जा सकता है. ओके, आई होप मैं आपको बता पाई. ऑलराइट, मूविंग अहेड. नाउ वंस वी आर एबल टू नो कि हम what we have in ourselves, the second idea is to convince the other person. Now I know what I'm good at. Now my idea is to convince. So convincing will only happen when I develop a better pitch. A pitch is basically an introduction that okay, my name is this, I come from this city, I am applying for this job because of this, fill in the blanks. Now how the pitch goes, okay, what are the roles and what are the skills that are applied for us to apply for a job. And obviously when we speak about all these areas, we also need to know about what kind of a company it is, what kind of salary will they offer, whether the company is branded, the branding of the company is reputed, whether I don't know the company, etc. All these things we will be able to pitch only when we are prepared with the basics, that is working on ourselves. Okay, first thing that of course we need to know our competencies, and second thing what I told you is pitching yourself in front of the people that okay, this is the reason you need to hire me. This is point number 2. Now another part is how do I prepare with that interview with a perspective. Firstly, you know your skills, you know your confidence level, but you also need to know about the organization. Now what do you mean by the organization? Company. कि भाई इस कंपनी में if I'm applying, this company is something that I'm planning to apply for. जब मुझे इस चीज के लिए अप्लाई करना है तो मुझ में ऐसी क्या चीजें होनी चाहिए जिसके वजह से द कंपनी नीड्स टू रिक्रूट मी, कि मुझे उस क्वालिफिकेशन के बेसिस में ये कंपनी आज हायर कर रहा है. Okay, now it is important for you to understand that when the company wants to know you and hire you, you also need to know about the company, right? Without knowing about the company, it's absolutely impossible for you to apply for a job. That I have to work for a 9 to 5 job. I need to know about the company. I need to know what they are good at. I need to know how much will they pay me. I need to know whether I'll be able to survive and sustain. This is called decision making when you're trying to take, an interview or, give an interview in an organization which you feel is appropriate for you. Now, this decision of yours to be suiting to a company and the company for you to be suitable, okay, needs to be vice versa. For example, recruitment can happen, but you mentally should also be prepared to work in the company. How do you first start with an interview? Imagine somebody is recruiting you and someone says, all right, please introduce yourself. First question, my name is Urmi. I come from Nagpur. I'm applying for a job in Maharashtra, what do you call Bangalore. And okay, company will say, why do we take you in Bangalore? Why do you want to work in Bangalore? Why don't you wish to give an interview in Nagpur? And I say, no, because I feel that I have got better opportunities in Bangalore. I feel that this company is appropriate for me. I feel this is a very good company to work with, etc. You have to be answerable, and you have to be convincing that why you want to work in this organization. But also, please try to refrain from buttering too much. What people do, oh, your company is very nice. I feel that only this is the place where I will get a better growth, where I can start my journey with, whether I want to, have a lifelong, what do you call, relationship with. These things at the very first shot when you're giving your introduction is not needed. So you should keep it very simple. And yes, you need to have a good eye contact. The first beginning itself in the chat window, somebody said eye contact. Eye contact is very important because it makes you feel sensible towards your audience that, oh, I'm looking at you confidently, you are looking at me confidently, and we are able to understand each other. So, yes, maintaining an eye contact and asking where you are lagging behind. In case if there is a question which you have not understood, ask that where am I failing? Anything that you feel that I'm not understanding, what, how can I improve myself, etc. Some people, what they do is at the beginning of the interview, they are underconfident. They feel scared. Now, this can happen. Okay, many people will say that, ma'am, we feel scared when we are giving an interview, when we are facing a panel. That's okay. It is absolutely okay if you feel scared, if you feel a little worried, if you feel that, oh, I'm not able to give the right answer, or if I don't know the answer of this question. No problem. Go slow. To err is to human. If you make mistakes, doesn't mean that they are not going to recruit you. Also, doesn't mean if you everything in the interview has gone well, you will be still, probably recruited. No. It all depends on the timing. It all depends sometimes on your luck, sometimes on the company's decision, why they want to hire you or why they don't want to hire you. Okay, so this you always need to understand that once you're giving any sort of interview or once you're facing any sort of interview, introduce yourself and create an impression of yours. Okay, you might have heard first impression is the last impression. I think the correct way of considering it is, make a lasting impression. First impression doesn't mean that, it needs to have a last impression. I think it's more of that it needs to have a lasting impression. So this is what I personally feel. Okay. Now imagine when you're giving an introduction of yourself. Okay, that okay, my name is this. I come from this place. I'm applying for the job in this place. Also explain about your educational qualification. Once they ask you, because they also have your CV in their hands, okay? They have the resume in their hand. They can read. Whatever you have mentioned in your resume, you have to exactly convince them with the same thing in a correct oral form of communication. Because what is in hand, what they can read, no, it's just everything is mentioned in the data format. But now you're trying to say the same thing in a more convincing attitude. So, your qualification, the certifications that you are good in sports, you are good in extracurricular activity, you are good in, you have great achievements. All these things are extremely important and create that pitch. Some people create a pitch which is extremely long. Don't do that. You're not, kind of engaging yourself in a storytelling. You're not doing poetry recitation. You need to limit yourself. You need to know that too much of anything can be, going against you. So when giving a pitch, just be very normal. Don't overdo anything. All right. So this is your action point. Now imagine in the interview, after explaining yourself, giving the idea about who you are also trying to tell something where they can ask you, okay, now imagine now, Ramya, you tell me something which is not there in your resume or in your CV. Then how will you answer? Your way or convincing attitude to them should be that, okay, I personally feel I'm a very good team player. Okay, why? Why do you say you're a great team player? I feel, I believe that I'll be able to work in an atmosphere where I can convince my team, where I can want them to deliver in such a manner where, we know that the situations are tough. Sometimes people, they don't want to give their 100%. They want to do shortcuts. I have that skill of convincing them. So convincing skill is also one skill. I'm good in negotiations. What is negotiation? That when you're dealing with clients, you can tell them that, okay, if they're saying that, no, we don't have time in hand, you can buy some time from them. These are certain qualities which makes it very, very important for you to be convincing. Okay. Your qualities can probably uh, enhance in such a manner that the company wants to hire you. Okay. Another aspect is that take me through your resume. You have told who you are. You have told what qualifications do you have. You have already convinced me what skills do you have. But okay, this skill is missing. Why should I hire you? Again, an answer that, okay, this is something that probably I never thought, but I might be able to take up a training and learn about it. Okay. Now, moreover, certain aspects of interview is, you somebody also said dressing skills, that I need to have a good body language and dress properly. People fail to understand the first aspect of your correct approach in your body language is how conducting yourself is important. Okay. Now, what do you mean by being presentable? Is it only dressing properly? Is it only that you're looking good, you're wearing the correct color? No. Being presentable also means that you reach on time, you're not late. Okay. You know the language properly. Okay. You are not uh, scared of sharing what you feel. Okay. Now, here you might say that, no, ma'am, but that nervousness can be there. Definitely, yes. Okay. Nervousness can be there, and it is good to be nervous. I'll tell you very honestly, when you're giving an interview, if you're not nervous, that means you don't want the job that badly. Little nervousness in any sort of interview is okay. Being anxious is not something that you might do. So there's a difference between being a little nervous and a difference between being anxious towards certain things. Please know what you're basically doing amongst these two. You have to conduct yourself in a proper manner. You need to deliver in a correct way. You need to also keep that kind of positivity. Okay? Now imagine, first you're practicing how to speak about yourself. It becomes easy when the person asks you. Of course, don't sound like a parrot. Ba, 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 ba. My name is this, my name is that, my place is this, I come from this place, my blood group is this. Some people get overexcited. They are facing an interview, they become overexcited. Don't do that. Okay. Just try to be a little more confident giving an answer when you're trying to speak about something, when you're trying to give any sort of opinion on certain things. It's important. All right. Next is, of course, wear a formal attire. Now, why it is important for you to wear a formal attire? Because, of course, home clothes cannot be worn for any sort of interview, right? You need to look good. You can't go in a shorts and a t-shirt and face an interview. That shows that you're too casual. That's the difference between a formal attire and a casual attire, right? Imagine at your home after having lunch on a Sunday afternoon, you're nicely sleeping, okay, and you have an interview which has to be done off online. Okay, by mistake your camera is on, and I can see that you're nicely sleeping. That gives a wrong impression of you. It says that, oh, this guy is not interested. You might have seen so many memes on Instagram, no? Where people forget that the camera is on and they're working and all that. So these kind of things basically show how careless you are. So when you're wearing the right outfit, you also try to have that kind of a power dressing attitude and approach. It makes a lot of difference, guys. You see, when you are at your home, you're relaxed, you're in your comfort zone. The moment you go out, you need to look good. You need to be better in terms of what your dressing is, because people will have that kind of thought process towards your conduct of personality. So dressing is very important. Okay. Next is arriving before time. I think it is our Indian standardized way of being late every single time in wherever we, whatever we do and wherever we go and stuff like that. Don't do that. it always gives a very negative impression about you, your personality, your approach towards certain things. So just be someone who is keen that no, I would like to be early on time. I would like to be a little more sensible. I would like to be in a proper manner, etc. Mostly, very important for you to be a good listener. Now, imagine you are very good in your speaking skills. That oh, you can talk with people properly, you can conduct yourself properly, but you're very poor in your listening skills. People will not like it at all. Speaking skills are very important, but equally important is good listening skill. To be someone who's good in communication, that person also needs to be equally good in their listening skills. Because see, speaking you might be very good at, but if you're not good at listening, then you will not be able to understand the other person. Now imagine, now I'll say this in Hindi. Imagine कि आप बोले जा रहे हैं, बोले जा रहे हैं, बोले जा रहे हैं और आगे वाले का सुन ही नहीं रहे हैं, तो आप कुछ कर नहीं पाएंगे ना, क्योंकि आप उस चीज को समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं। आप उस चीज को सुनने के बाद उसमें रिप्लाई देंगे, लेकिन अगर बोले ही जा रहे हो और आप सुनना ही नहीं चाह रहे हो, तो पुअर लिसनिंग आपको इस तरीके से वो चीज डिस्ट्रॉय करती है कि आप आगे क्या बोलने वाले हो वो आप समझ ही नहीं पाओगे। Hence, it always important for you to be a good listener and ask questions. Now, again, asking questions, but not too many. Limit yourself. Wait. अगर वो आपको बोलते हैं कि any questions, then ask. Okay. Too many questions again will show that okay, this guy is not willing to listen. This guy is not understanding. Another aspect is, check when you are trying to give an interview, when you're facing the camera or the person, keep a smiling face. Always understand, guys, if you are not happy giving an interview, the interviewer will not be happy taking one as well. He'll feel that, oh, this guy sounds so uninterested. So always try to be very, very particular when you're trying to do such things. Next, it is important for you to understand that under preparation of anything is not good. You might have all given exams at one point of time, no, guys? Now, has it ever happened that you have not prepared before an exam? Did it ever happen? You can use the chat window. Has it ever happened that you have gone in an exam without any preparation? Have you not just checked what book you're going to go and give, what kind of exam you have? Have you not ever revised? See, some subjects you might be weak at, but I'm sure it has never happened that you've not prepared for an exam and gone. 100% you might have studied. At least studied to this extent that why I should get passing number. Boss, at least I must pass. This much 100% you might have done. Yes, no? Anybody, please use the chat window and answer this. Did you study before an exam? I'm sure that you all, without studying, you will never go for an exam. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Others, come on. I'm sure nobody has gone without any preparation. Sometimes we might have not prepared for any one subject. That might have happened. But I'm sure not always. Somewhere or the other, once or twice, you might have not prepared for it. But definitely you have studied. Similarly, see, great. I've got answers. Bhageshri and Mahima, great. Okay. Now, when you go prepared, you're confident that, okay, these are the places where I'll be able to cover up or where I'll be able to give a correct answer. Once you're not prepared, you don't know what to answer, you blabber, you get scared, you are worried, you kind of, you are in tension, all these things happen. And that automatically leads to sharing of personal information, not needed. When they ask you, who is there in your family? Just say, my wife, my kids, my parents, okay? What if they say that, okay, all right, are you married? Yes. When you are married, you don't have to tell. So, if the question is, are you married? Your answer should be yes. Your answer should not be, yes, I'm married on this and this year, I have 2 more kids. No. What is asked? only should be answered, because you're giving an interview only on the basis of what questions are being asked. Don't volunteer any information unnecessarily that is not required. It is a golden rule of communication. Okay. Next, don't be negative. Negative means, oh, I'm not going to make to this interview. I don't think I'll clear it. I don't think I'll be able to, be selected. No. If you are consciously or unconsciously thinking that I will not be selected, then nothing can be done about it. Because you have yourself giving yourself the decision that, oh, I am not going to be taken. Don't do that. Always try to wait for the person to make you, aware of whether you are in or you're out. Okay. But never try to do anything, okay, as if, oh, this guy is mentally prepared, he cannot do it. Don't have that kind of underconfidence. All right. Another aspect, okay, don't eat when you're trying to give an interview. Some people have this bad habit of putting chewing gum. Sometimes they are very nervous, so they'll keep eating. Never do that. Never do that. That gives a very bad impression of you. Okay. Imagine, don't have a background noise. Imagine if I'm taking up a class and suddenly there's a lot of pressure cooker noise coming from the background. It will give a wrong impression of me. How? That, oh, ma'am knew that she has a class today and she's still sitting at a place where there is pressure cooker noise coming. It will give a bad impression. Okay. Maybe I'm not trying to purposely do it, but even if the sound comes, it doesn't look good. So always try to be at a place where you know nobody is going to disturb you, nobody is going to trouble you. They will not try to continuously come and distract you for anything. Be in a place where you feel that there is peace in that place, and you'll be able to finish off your work quickly. And next is avoid multitasking. Now, what is multitasking? Imagine I am taking up a class now, and meanwhile, I also have my phone, and I pick up the phone and I'm, looking at the message and then answering, again, looking at it, taking up a call. It gives a false impression. It shows that I am not delivering something for which I am being hired. It shows that no, okay, it's a Sunday for me as well. No, why will I, take up a class, deliver it till 1 hour? Why will I do it? Because I have been given that onus. I have been given that responsibility. So I'm doing it. If I don't have the responsibility, if somebody else is in the class, then I'm not answerable, whether my camera is on or off. But when I'm in a session, it's my job and my duty to turn on my cameras and be in the class to show that I'm not just present in terms of my, a symbol of the class showing that, oh, this guy is there in class, but I'm physically present. I'm looking at the class. I'm, attending the class in a correct manner. That shows how important it is for me. Okay. Now, multitasking is losing a lot of concentration. Okay. Now, next, all these things you will say, ma'am, correct, you're right. But I personally feel that I get a lot of nervousness when I'm facing an interview. Okay. Have you ever felt like that, guys? You can use the chat window and answer to me. Have you ever felt nervous before giving an interview? You can use the chat window. Yes, no. Or imagine if I tell you that tomorrow you have an interview. Will you be nervous? A little? Sometimes. Okay, great, Mahima. Others, it can be sometimes, it can be yes, it can be no. Most people, they feel that no, I don't have that. Luckily, I don't feel nervous, or luckily, I can deal with the situation in a better manner. Anybody here who feels that yes, yes, ma'am, uh, हिंदी ओके ओके ऑल राइट आई विल माय क्वेश्चन मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सवाल आप लोगों से कि इंटरव्यू के पहले क्या आपको कभी कोई घबराहट होती है डर लग रहा है कि कल मैं इंटरव्यू क्रैक कर पाऊंगा मेरा सिलेक्शन होगा कि नहीं मुझे वो लोग एक चांस देंगे कि नहीं क्या लग रहा है आपको आई आई एम ट्राइंग कि मैं हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में बोलूं तो आपको कोई चीज ऐसा नहीं समझ में आए तो मुझे जरूर बोलना आई विल ट्राई टू रिपीट इट फॉर यू गाइस तो कभी ऐसा फील हुआ है कि भाई हाँ मुझे नर्वसनेस हो रहा है कहीं मेरा सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ तो बिकॉज मेनी पीपल हैव दिस फीलिंग नो यस नो Okay, all right. See, most of you guys have said yes. Now the thing is, it is absolutely normal. You know, we all feel nervous when we are doing something for the first time or when we want that thing very desperately. We feel ki Bhagwan, please, I just hope I get it. I get selected. I should get it. It happens. What we fear is, I don't have the experience. No, no, no. What if I fail? What if I don't say it correctly? What if I have a back in my college? What if I come from a tier two city? What if I come from a tier one city? Difference. Okay, difference. I'm applying a job in a metro city, and I come from a very small town. These things don't matter. Interview and the company will not recruit you depending on what city you come from. It is always the skill that you need to have to make, and succeed in an interview. It is not about you coming from any XYZ place. Okay, कि छोटे जगह से है तो नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है. This is never there. You need to have the confidence कि भाई सिलेक्शन होगा होगा नहीं होगा नहीं होगा, बट आई विल गिव माई बेस्ट. भाई मैं सॉलिड तरीके से अपनी तैयारी करके जाऊंगा या जाऊंगी. होगा तो होगा, नहीं तो मैं फिर से अगले जगह अप्लाई करूंगा. मेरे लिए एक सीख है कि मैंने इस चीज को सीखा है. मेरे लिए इजी होगा कि मैं हर बार एक नया इंटरव्यू दूं और मेरे लिए इजी होगा कि मैं चीज नई नई सीखूं. एक कॉन्फिडेंस अपने आप में बनाऊं. नाउ it is important कि भाई when you're meeting a lot of people, you're networking. Different people, they have different ways, they have different ways of questioning, they have different ways of approach, answer, understanding, etc. How you try to speak with them is important. Okay, now sometimes you have a strong feeling that, oh, agar maine galat answer de diya, what if I give a wrong answer? How will I correct myself? This happens. This happens, right? That by mistake, what if I say something wrong? Okay. What if you don't say something wrong and you give the correct answer? That can be there, bro. It is important for you to know that you can give a right answer. Unnecessarily, if you think, अरे मैं गलत बोल दूंगा, मेरे मुंह से कुछ गलत निकल जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप बार बार अगर इस चीज को सोचोगे तो वही होगा. अगर आप मन में सोचोगे कि नहीं, जो भी हो भाई, आई एम गोइंग टू गिव माय बेस्ट शॉट, मैं अच्छे से आंसर दूंगा, जितना आता है उतना दूंगा, लेकिन दूंगा. ओके, इट बिकम्स इजी. Always it becomes easy for you. Okay. Next, and the last is technical glitch. Imagine agar aap if you're facing an interview online and suddenly there is a power cut that is not in your hand. Okay, you'll feel, oh my god, what will they think? Relax. It's a normal thing. It can happen with them also. You can't do anything about it. Technical glitches are meant to happen. The last week, did you realize and hear that there was a Microsoft server crash? I'm sure that you guys know about the news that their server was down. There was a huge Microsoft server crash. There were people who were in airport and they didn't even get a proper printed, what do you call, boarding pass. They were having handwritten passes. These are all very normal, errors. You don't have to think too much when such things happen. Okay, these are not some things that are massive. It's not your concern. You need to know that you have to prepare. Okay, now when I say you need to prepare and you need to picture your success, you also need to understand that certain questions you can prepare yourself in advance. कि बॉस, देयर आर सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस, अगर मुझे पूछा जाए तो मैं डर सकता हूँ, या पता नहीं मैं क्या आंसर दूं, या पता नहीं हाउ दिस क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग टू कम सडनली टू मी. I will be prepared beforehand. What can be such questions? I'll give you an example. Okay. Firstly, if there is a question which is being asked to you and you don't know that, okay, probably this question's answer is not that positive, try to give it in a positive manner. Let's say that, yes, ma'am, I gave an interview last time, but I did not get selected. Okay, why you didn't get selected? Just normally say that I feel I made some mistakes, but I'm sure the next time I'll be giving my 100%. Okay, I know that I have to be a little more trained in certain XYZ things, and then give your 100%. Do not say or do anything where you feel I'm not able to give my 100%. Not needed. Make sure that you do things in the correct manner, but also give yourself that time. Okay, update your knowledge. Some people feel technical skills or certifications के भरोसे ही नौकरी क्रैक होगी. नहीं, your general knowledge and general awareness is equally important. Today, if you don't know whether the stock markets are, up or whether down, what is basically the role of Sensex and Nifty, okay, what basically is happening around you, then you're not appropriate and job ready at all. सिर्फ अपने आसपास क्या हो रहा है जानना is not required or important. You need to know what is happening globally. Now, if you say no, मुझे I have nothing to do with politics. I'm not politically good. And nobody is telling you to go and stand for an election. No, people are telling you to know about what is happening around you. आपको जानना ये बहुत जरूरी है कि आप कौन से जगह से आते हो और आपके आसपास क्या हो रहा है. तभी आप उस चीज को लेके आंसर कर पाओगे. Hence, कंपटीशन में रहने के लिए you need to be very, very updated and competitive. Now, when certain questions are being asked to you, like okay, आपने क्या रीजन है कि आज आपने ये आउटफिट पहना है? Why do you think that you are wearing this outfit? Why it is important for you to present yourself like this? Okay, what will your answer be, and how would you answer? Okay, it is important for you to show that these are certain things I want to do, and I personally feel that it's important for me to make sure that the company selects me. किस तरीके से आप convince करोगे is something which is going to take you a step ahead. Now, some companies will ask you, why have you not done an internship? क्यों नहीं आपने किया है? आपके इसमें internship का कोई record ही नहीं है. Convince them that why have you not done it? If you're able to convince, well and good. If you're not, gone. Somewhere or the other, you need to understand things in the correct manner. You need to understand how it is important for you to make, in the company. Okay. Now, of course, कुछ questions बहुत common होते हैं कि आपका strength क्या है? हम आपको क्यों hire करें? Why do we hire you? Do you think कि आपको ये question pass कर देना चाहिए? No. You must always give the answer properly. That my strength is my confidence. My strengths are my educational qualification. My strengths are the experience I have had. My strengths are I have been a topper. My strengths are I have never had any backs in my paper. My strengths are कि मुझे मालूम है मुझे अपने आप को किस वे में और क्या विजन के साथ अपना शॉर्ट टर्म गोल या लॉन्ग टर्म गोल अचीव करना है. These are called as your strengths. Okay, and you must always answer them very carefully because these play a very important role in your career. Now, imagine when you're giving your what do you call strengths, when you're telling about your skills, tell your skills, convince them that why I know negotiation. Like I told you, I'm a good team player. I'll be able to deal with people. I know how to replace the word I with we. Okay, when you replace the I word with we, it helps a lot of people. All right. Now, what are your weak points? ये एक बहुत important question आ जाता है कि भाई strengths तो everybody will say properly. What are your weak points? What will you say? Okay, my weak point is I'm not disciplined. My weak point is I get late. My weak point is I'm not able to wake up early in the morning. Company will say that no, these many weak points, let's not hire this guy. इसे क्यों ले अगर इसे सुबह उठना ही नहीं आता है? इसे क्यों ले अगर इसे लैंग्वेज में प्रॉब्लम है? Okay, some people will say I have a language issue कि इंग्लिश नहीं आती है, मैं नर्वस हो जाता हूँ, मुझे इंग्लिश बोलने से तकलीफ है, मुझे समझ नहीं आता है. Then the company will ask you, ठीक है, what have you done? आपने हिंदी सीखी, इंग्लिश क्यों नहीं सीखी? You can say that I have this as a weak point, but I'm trying my level best to improve. Okay, I'm able to identify my weak points and I'm able to work on it. So once you start telling all these things, the company will understand. Okay, don't be very self-critical कि नहीं मुझे पता है कि ये सब चीजें हैं जहाँ पे मेरे मार्क्स कट सकते हैं. खुद से खुद ये चीज एनालाइज कभी नहीं करना चाहिए. Let the other person analyze it for you. Okay, please try to always know your strengths, your weaknesses, and overcome them in the correct manner. Because in case you're able to deal or you're able to overcome certain things, it's extremely easy for you to deal with it. And don't be uncomfortable. When you're ready to give your 100%, also be open for ideas. Okay. Sometimes they will ask you, अच्छा आप ये अपने छोटे आप जिस जगह से बिलोंग कर रहे हैं, क्या आप यहाँ से एक दूसरे सिटी जाना चाहेंगे? What will your answer be, guys? Anybody? अगर आपको पूछा गया कि यह सैलरी अच्छा है पर हम आपको यहाँ नहीं नौकरी दे सकते हैं, आपको दिल्ली जाना पड़ेगा या आपको नासिक जाना पड़ेगा, आपका आंसर क्या होगा? If you don't want to go, will you still say no bluntly, or will you wait for some time to think and then answer? I'm sure you cannot just randomly give a blunt answer, because that will be very rude. You will take your own time and you will say that I am not sure right now. Give me some time. I'll get back to you. Okay. Do not always be in a hurry or in a rush to wrap up things, because certain things take its own time. Give it own time. Okay. Don't rush. Don't hurry. Any hurry can, make it difficult for you. You never know how will you be able to deal with it. Okay. So if you're willing to relocate, sorry, say yes, I can do that. Okay. Also, if you're not ready, say give me some time. I will get back. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा टाइम दीजिए, मैं सोच के आपको बताता हूँ. Okay. Then if you feel कि नहीं, there is a genuine concern कि नहीं, मम्मी पापा वहाँ है, I cannot even have a work here. I know I need some time to take my family, to work with them, to think about something. Let it happen. Do not rush. The moment you start rushing, things become difficult. Things become tough. All right. So don't let such things happen. Give your own time, take your own time, and then work on certain things. All right. And certain examples are whether you are happy or you're able to work with us on weekends. If needed, why not? We are also taking up a class on Sunday. If needed, we can do that. Not every weekend we require. Certain times we can. ठीक है, कर सकते हैं, देखा जाएगा, नहीं हो पाएगा, बिल्कुल नहीं. Don't give such answers. Okay? इससे क्या होता है ना, जब आप ट्रांजिशन करते हैं अपना, या आप एक कॉलेज स्टूडेंट से एक नए ऑफिस में अपने एक नए जर्नी को स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, बहुत तकलीफ हो जाता है अगर हर चीज में पहले ही डिसीजन मेकिंग ले लेंगे. नेवर डू दैट. ट्राई टू टेक योर ओन टाइम. Show your enthusiasm that no, I want to work, I'm happy to work, I'm willing to learn. If I don't know something, I will take my own time to learn, and give me that chance to learn. Okay. So yes, there can be a question कि आपने पहले नौकरी किया है तो अब आप क्यों नौकरी चेंज करना चाहते हैं? ठीक है. Okay. So say that हाँ, because distance का भी problem हो रहा है, कभी कभी I feel that I need a better jump, I need some growth to happen. Different reasons can be there, but make sure that you give the reason very wisely. Don't rush. Okay. And see, if there's a company that you were working and it's not good, अननेसेसरली किसी कंपनी के बारे में बुरा बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. उसमें दिखेगा कि अरे भाई, जहां से ही अर्निंग, जहां ये कमा रहा था, जहां ये था, ये उसी कंपनी के बारे में अच्छा नहीं बोल रहा है, तो इसे हम लेंगे तो ये क्या ही बोलेगा. डोंट एवर गिव अ रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन, और डोंट मेक इट लुक any way that you are ungrateful for the company that you are working for. It gives a very wrong impression. Never do that. Okay. Take your own time. Let it sulk in a proper manner. Don't overdo anything, and don't speak anything negative. If you speak negative, it gives a very wrong impression. Okay. Now, why there are certain common questions that can be asked to you. कि हम क्यों आपको ले? Why do you deserve to work in my company? Okay. What are your goals? Okay. No, you're not appropriate. You don't fit in my company. Okay. You have to learn certain things. You need to do a little more. All these things, you have to be particular when you're trying to work in a company or an organization. You need to understand that these questions, if you practice at the very beginning, anywhere you go, company knows that, oh, this guy has come prepared. Okay, so be aware of certain things. Okay, so yes, if they ask you in an interview certain question, and once you answer, okay, when you can you tell me a little bit more about it? Okay, do not ask the interviewer that how was my interview, sir? Selection होगा नहीं होगा कुछ बता सकते हैं आप कंपनी कैसे ग्रो करेगा कंपनी का क्या ग्रोथ रेट है never ask such things. Okay, if you're giving an interview online, then always give a thank you email. It's like a feedback. It's like, you're trying to reply back to the company. So always do such things that shows good about you. Okay, about you in the company. So yes, that's all from my end for you. Where I would like to speak about the entire transitioning that is happening from the campus to the corporates, where you are applying for a job, where you want to learn something new, where you want to have a different approach towards things. And it takes time. You might be nervous, you might not be able to give your 100% at things. It might take some time. But don't try to be negative at the very beginning. Okay, so any questions you guys have, you can put it on the chat window. And Rohan, if you're there, we can try to take up the questions in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And chat.
Thank you so much, Professor Urmi. I think it was a very interesting and an insightful session.
Thanks,
And
Rohan.
we have had all the participants, most of the participants stay throughout the session.
I'm
So,
glad.
any questions, participants, feel free to, just unmute yourself. Feel free to ask the questions. I've also shared a feedback form in the chat box. Request you to also fill it, which will help us improve our sessions on a daily basis. And apart from the feedback form, I'm currently sending you another link where you can register yourself and get access to a recorded session, such as today's and the previous sessions as well. So feel free to register yourself and get access to the recordings. Meanwhile, we'll be available for another few minutes. If there are any questions, we are happy to take up. So, Urmi,
Yeah.
I have a question from my end. So what is your take on these easy apply jobs on LinkedIn? So,
I think, okay, that's a great question, Rohan. I think most of the times when they click on certain things, they need to also be very sure whether they are not scam. Because most of them, it happens from different tier cities where they try to say that, oh, you pay to the company and, you have to give us some commission and we will give your CV at different places. We
yeah,
will
true.
building your CV and all those things. So what happens is we must always go and check whether those things are authentic.
Absolutely.
So everything is available on the internet. So if we can be a little more smart and do a research
Hmm.
paying, because if you have the right skill set, that eventually
Right.
it will take time.
We'll end up the job. Yeah.
You don't have to pay 5,500 rupees and wait for a company to call you and say that, oh, you are shortlisted. Most
Hmm.
of the times naukri.com and all these things, they don't charge you.
Yeah.
Unless you're applying for a big gradually when you're applying for a major leadership role,
Hmm.
there's a changing of the leadership
Right.
role from one to another. When even for example LinkedIn, then you're getting on premium pages, when you're paying, when company kind of network. So I think it's very important for you to know whether those things are authentic. And I feel if you are having the right skills, then maybe you might not be able to clear the first few attempts of the jobs, but doesn't
Right.
mean that you might not get a job. So you should never have that kind of thought that I don't have the right skills to
Hmm.
get something.
Awesome. If there are no questions, I think we can end the session.
Okay, yeah, I'll be glad to know if they have understood things and they
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
write on the chat window. So either they have understood everything and no questions, or they have not understood anything, so no questions. So I think participants, you can definitely write on the chat window so I
Yes.
can see whether you have enjoyed and taken any single piece of advice from the session. It will be great for us to know. And as Rohan mentioned, please give the feedback on the link.
Yeah.
So I think I did try to cover a few parts in Hindi as well. I think some people had
Yes.
requested. So yeah.
All right.
All right. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Professor Urmi. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great weekend, all of you.
You too. Bye bye.
Thank you.